Good evening and thank you for joining us for KREM 2 News 10 at 10, where we give you more news in less time. Let's get started. First up tonight, a look at the forecast. You might have noticed some smoke hanging around in the air today. Let's get straight to Chief Meteorologist Jeremy Legout to find out exactly where that was coming from and what's in store in the hours and days to come. Jeremy?
Well, Mark, when it comes to the smoke, it was kind of hanging out overhead for a while today. The good news is that has kind of worked its way out, and as it does so, we get a bit of a shift in our overall weather pattern. You ready for this? 55 degrees right now. Yeah, right. I was just outside. Feels a little bit cooler, but it's not. It's 55, and we likely don't cool down too much more with cloud cover already building in. But get this, we woke up to a little bit of smoke smell in the air, and it's likely we do that again tomorrow. We'll see that smoke creep its way across the state, and as we start the day, there's a little overhead, but with a low pressure center moving by, it winds up pushing a lot of that smoke out by tomorrow afternoon, and Thursday winds up much drier, much better. That low pressure center already creeping its way down from the north, and for us, that means showers already making their way into Okanagan County. Few of those over the Cascades as we speak, and after all, this is the start. Let's take a detour here for a half second. I've got 10 seconds to show you. Snow already coming down in some of those higher elevations. Yep, it's that time of year. Here comes the low. It spins over. By tomorrow morning, I think the 8 o'clock hour, we'll start to see some scattered showers. I think we see on and off showers through much of the day tomorrow, and some of those linger into Thursday morning. All in all, it looks like we're heading into a pretty active weather pattern. Widespread rain tomorrow, 62 degrees, 66 on Thursday, and by Friday, we're back up near 70 and heading into a dry weekend before yet another storm moves in next week.
All right, sounds good, Jeremy. I'll check back in with you later in the broadcast. We are continuing to follow a developing story out of Hayden Lake tonight, where the town's only law enforcement officer has been placed on leave days after he raised ethical questions over an order from the mayor. KREM 2's Kyle Simchuk is outside of City Hall with more tonight.
Hayden Lake's mayor and city council members would not tell us why the chief was placed on administrative leave. However, we do know the chief recently pushed back against the mayor's order to crack down on speeders and minimize the amount of warnings he's allowed to give out. Chief Ron Pumphrey is Hayden Lake's only law enforcement officer, and he's been on the job for less than 3 months. Now, he's been placed on leave. According to our news partners at the Coeur d'Alene Press, Chief Pumphrey announced last Friday he was placed on leave August 27th, days after questioning an order from Hayden Lake Mayor Jim Ackerman. According to the press, the mayor asked the chief to implement a zero-tolerance policy for drivers caught going 7 over the speed limit, an automatic ticket for someone driving 32 in a 25-mile-per-hour zone. Pumphrey said he has ethical objections to the order, which he thinks is motivated by revenue. Pumphrey told the Coeur d'Alene Press the mayor's order is under legal review and that he's not discussing the details of his leave status based on his contract and advice from his attorney. According to his contract, Pumphrey can be fired for disqualifying misconduct with a 4-month severance package worth about $35,000. Kootenai County deputies will handle active emergencies in Hayden Lake, which they already do when the chief is off duty. And the chief did not attend tonight's council meeting, where city leaders delayed a decision to purchase a body-worn camera for their police department of 1. Reporting in Hayden Lake tonight, Kyle Simchuk, KREM 2 News.
New tonight, a man has been arrested for purposefully hitting someone with his truck when he thought that person was pointing a gun at him. It happened yesterday on East Mission Avenue near Bowman Road. The driver fled the scene but called 911 saying something that looked like a gun was in the person's hands. It wasn't until he drove away that he realized the person was actually holding a caulk gun because it was stuck to the hood of his car. The victim suffered non-life-threatening injuries. The driver was arrested for second-degree assault. Also new tonight, a Spokane police officer in the process of arresting a wanted man shot a dog that bit him. According to SPD, the man was walking his dog. When the officer approached the dog, it bit him in the leg, and that's when the officer shot the dog, according to police in self-defense. The dog's condition not known tonight. The officer is expected to recover. The wanted suspect was arrested, though it's not known for what tonight. And now to our night beat with a quick look at the day's top stories. A former Lake City High School teacher will spend the next 4 months in jail after taking an Alford plea for sexual contact charges with a student. According to our news partners at the Coeur d'Alene Press, 49-year-old William Keelan began a multi-year relationship with a 15-year-old back in 2012. Police say multiple students knew about the situation but were afraid to report it. He'll now spend 120 days in jail and will be placed on supervised probation for 4 years. And new tonight, the Adams County Sheriff's Office has identified the suspect in a high-speed chase that closed I-90 near Ritzville this morning. Deputies say Lance Rogers stole an asphalt truck from WashDOT. A chase ensued and troopers used spike strips to stop the stolen truck, which then caught fire. The Sheriff's Office also released these photos showing the truck on fire and the cleanup afterward. They say there were multiple crime scenes to clean up since that chase spanned several miles. We spoke with one man who watched it all unfold.
And I tried to slow down and not get too close. Once, like a third and a fourth officer pulled up, I figured it was kind of serious, so maybe I should fall back a little bit. And I was just at a safe distance where more troopers or officers would come off a side road and cut in front of me.
WSB says the suspect is also accused of shooting at cars in Yakima before the incident in Ritzville. That suspect has been charged with armed robbery and assault. The Lucky Friday mine near Mullen will not start production again until next year. This comes a month after a fire broke out 500 feet underground, forcing the mine to close. The Coeur d'Alene Press is reporting mine workers will spend the next few months building a new tunnel to bypass the part of the mine that was damaged in that fire. And that was your Night Beat. To learn more about any of these stories, just head on over to our website. That's KREM.com.
Ground crews are currently searching it. There's not much of it left.
Well, it took nearly 28 hours to find it, but tonight federal investigators are at the crash site of an F-35 fighter jet that mysteriously disappeared during a training mission this weekend. The pilot ejected and has already been released from the hospital, but the $100 million plane was found in pieces 60 miles away. Well, this year's fall Chinook salmon run is causing ripples along the Columbia River. Some fishermen say it is the best they have seen in years. Numbers from the Army Corps of Engineers show more than 630,000 Chinook salmon passed through the Bonneville Dam so far this year. The Oregon Department of Fish and Wildlife says this year's higher numbers are due to ocean conditions out in the Pacific.
We have, this upwelling that occurs with these winds that bring these cold, nutrient-rich waters up from the depths.
Closer to home, the Washington Department of Fish and Wildlife says more than 23,000 Chinook salmon passed through the Ballard Locks in Seattle since mid-June. New technology from the Washington Department of Natural Resources can detect the first smoke of a wildfire using artificial intelligence. There are 12 stations across the state, each with 2 cameras that will alert first responders to the fire's rate of spread and its potential threat to nearby structures. Officials say those first few minutes can be critical in limiting damage.
For the high-risk, fast-growing wildfires, the agencies can begin the aggressive response within minutes of the fire starting. And that's so critical in today's conditions where fuels are drier, temperatures are higher, humidity is lower, winds are faster. All of these conditions are making fires spread faster, and so every minute matters.
Commissioner of Public Lands Hillary Franz says DNR can continue this progress with more cameras in the future if funding allows for it. Meantime, firefighting crews have another tool to help them battle wildfires, this time with drones that track and monitor wildfires in real time. The drone technology helps first responders make decisions on how to battle a blaze using thermal cameras.
In the very early stages of a wildfire, those first moments are critical in making sure the wildfire is not running out of control. With our technology, they can get an instant overview of where the fire is, how large it is, where it's most intense, and then allocate their resources.
The AI drones went into development 5 years ago when record-breaking wildfires swept across Greece, Sweden, and California.